I was sent this story, and it apparently came out just today. It's a local news channel that it covered this, which is unusual for our channel. Like, I don't usually cover news getting covered by local stations or coming from a local station, but this particular story seems like they locked in and found a really important issue. So I'm happy to say that this local channel, or this more local channel, has done some real good journalism here. They're talking about a real issue. Apparently, there is a guy who is going viral right now for using Omegle, or Omegle, however you pronounce it, to find little kids and try to get them to be Nazis. Like, getting them to Sieg Heil and that kind of stuff. And I was sent this clip from this local news station, and I have not seen it yet. I've not dived into it yet. I figured we could check it out live on stream and dive right in. Omegle still exists? It does. It does still exist. I actually did some content where I would, like, go through Omegle, and I would find Nazis on there and fuck with them. It was pretty fun. People enjoyed those streams, too. They were just hard to do because I had to be so on top of the different, like, buttons and macros to make sure I didn't accidentally, like, show a dude, like, switch over to a dude jacking off into the camera or something, get my channel taken down. It was a bit stressful. You know, sometimes you'd run into a Nazi and they just start screaming the N-word out of nowhere. So, yeah, Omegle is a pretty degenerate place in my experience, so none of this necessarily surprises me, but it goes to show that right now, while the mainstream right is kind of dying off, this degenerate, insane niche section of the right is what's kind of filling in the power vacuum left behind by the fall of outlets like the Daily Wire and the fall off of the Shapiros and, you know, all the tenant media people becoming irrelevant, the, you know, favorability towards Israel causing a bunch of right-wing pundits themselves to just fall off the face of the map. We're seeing a very interesting time in politics right now where, at least within the right, it is the most radical filling in the gaps in the power vacuum. So if you end up liking this video, please consider leaving a like, a hype, a comment, and subscribe if you want to, you know, see more from me. Your support definitely helps the channel a lot. I appreciate it. Help fight back against the evil algorithm. But with all that said, let's get right into the story.
It's one of those stories that was jaw-dropping even for me when I stumbled across it. And as I heard from the group of parents who joined us, most families have no idea that children are being targeted by adults who want to make them hate.
That is something that I worry about, is the fact that it feels like when it comes to online safety, there can really be no moderate approach. Either you've got extremely overprotective parents and politicians willing to take advantage of that to enforce laws that affect everybody, including adults, and their, like, freedom just to exist online and to access content online. But then you've got the unfortunately growing common denominator of bad, neglectful parents that treat the internet like a babysitter. Like, I don't think kids shouldn't ever be allowed online. I think their internet presence should just be monitored to some extent. But the idea of, like, a full banning of it, and certainly the idea of complete hands-offedness, is a big problem, you know? And, like, a lot of parents don't realize that it's not necessarily some, like, crazy child molester you need to worry about your kids talking to online. You know, just because you find out the kids that the kids that your kid is talking to on Discord are all actually kids, doesn't mean they're not bad people, bad influence in one way or another. They could live across the country and be radicalizing through, like, peer pressure, radicalizing your kid into being the next Hitler. You know what I mean? Like, it's a real problem. Parents need to know about this. It's not just, like, child predators you gotta worry about your kids interacting with online. Like, a bad friend group on Discord can fucking destroy your relationship with your child. You know? Like, next thing you know, your kid's an incel who hates women and won't talk to you anymore. Oh, there you go.
For most parents, it's a hate that seems worlds away.
Oh my God, bro. You are a Jewish science experiment, bro.
But this hate is targeting your children.
Look at this Aryan Chad, gonna hunt you down.
Targeting them.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! Let's go!
Inside their own bedrooms.
These young man! Woo! White power!
Like, there's just this thing about the internet, I believe, for a while, that it is the great filter. Like, the reason why the stars are not filled with extraterrestrial intelligent life is because there are a number of things that any intelligent life will eventually come up with that'll just wipe out that species in due time. And one of those things, I believe, is instant communication and the internet. I think every intelligent species makes their own internet, and their own internet destroys them in the end, if not properly regulated to some extent. Because, yeah, stuff like this, like, without the internet, people behaving this way have to either do it in a very secluded spot or be ridiculed, laughed at, and humiliated publicly. On the internet, you can be the biggest social outcast loser in the world, but then be like the most popular fucking guy on the internet. A la Asmongold, right? In the real world, Asmongold is the bottom of the societal totem pole. But thanks to the internet, and especially on the internet, Asmongold's at the very tippy top. And without the internet, things like this they're at the fringes of society. But on the internet, people like this can pretend like they're normal, or that they're accepted, or that what they are doing is not literally bottom of the societal totem pole type shit.
The man behind the videos, you have a problem with Jews in general, though.
Yes, I do.
Is John Monadio, the same neo-Nazi we had confronted outside City Hall.
Hitler was right!
His group, the Goyim Defense League, created scenes like this on the streets of...
The Goyim Defense League. For those that don't know, I believe Goyim is Yiddish, right? Is that what it is for non-Jewish? And so a lot of Nazis like to sort of ironically identify as Goyim. So you'll hear a lot of that in the Nick Fuentes adjacent circles. A lot of these types will call themselves the Goyim.
Nashville in the summer of 2024.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Even assaulting a young
they're...
Jewish man in the dark of night.
All I know is I heard.
You got arrested, right? Okay, it seems like you got arrested.
Gunshot, and I just ran out running.
Was that a hospital? It looks like a hospital.
Yes, it was inside
That's a school.
When a school shooting at Nashville's Antioch High School earlier this year left one student dead, another injured, the 17-year-old shooter left behind a manifesto that indicated he had been influenced at least partly by Monadio's hateful propaganda.
So what I do is I'm an entertainer, pro-white entertainer. I hate non-whites, okay?
A black teenager was influenced by a white supremacist, bearded, middle-aged gray loser into being so insanely radicalized that he shot up a school? I mean, I shouldn't be that surprised. A lot of people don't know this, but like the radicalization, the deep far-right radicalization stuff online, it is definitely more, like, it is definitely, like, straight, white, young men who are the most susceptible to it. But I've definitely met a fair few non-white ex-chuds, like, ex-far-right chuds, who were, like, super down the rabbit hole. So, it's very possible that, yeah, just a similar case to that. That is really sad that this guy was credited as inspiring a fucking shooting in the community. Like, this guy is a local menace. Are they gonna do something about this guy? Like, what is the deal?
Live streaming from his own racist website after being repeatedly banned from mainstream platforms, the Springfield, Missouri man makes money from other white supremacists who pay to cheer him on.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Damn. 235 out of 4. Oh, because 488. That's his goal. That's his dono goal. Damn. Damn, y'all gotta donate more. You can't let this Nazi make more money than me. This random, like, nobody Nazi. Damn,
other
chat.
White supremacists
They're beating
who
you.
pay to cheer him on.
They're beating you, guys.
How old are you?
I'm too old to be honest, but I'm warning women like you to stay away from these filthy.
This guy is the type of dude online who sees you're trans and then calls you a pedophile. And yet, this guy spends an odd amount of time, a very odd amount of time, interacting with children on the internet. You know, a lot of time to be interacting with children on the internet and not be a pedophile. Just pointing that out.
as he goes into roulette-style video chat rooms.
How old are you?
I'm 12, about to be 13.
Where he often encounters children.
How are you?
So, yeah, how are you?
Good, man. How old are you?
10.
Awesome, man. Do you like?
No?
Good job. Yeah, white power to this.
You know, the fact he's out specifically trolling for minors to talk to makes him a predator by default. Like, that is definitionally a predator. He is hunting for minors on these websites. He probably has CSAM on his hard drive. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be getting checked by police fairly soon, now that this story is hit. So we're going to find out soon enough, I'm sure.
We asked a group of parents to watch some of the clips with us to help us process what we were seeing.
Yeah! Don't get yourself wrong! Yeah! These yeah!
I wish they didn't censor this kid's eyes, because I would love to be able to get, like, a cutout of this kid's face to make into a meme. You know, like the 167 kid that has been, like, edited to hell, where his, like, mouth is, like, unhinged and his eyes are bulging open, and he's like the quintessential brain rotted, like, Gen Alpha kid. I feel like we could make that Wojak. We could make that image for the, like, brain-rotted internet zoomer who falls for Nazism after one short convo with the guy on Omegle.
How Manadio's theatrics,
The Nazi
including
squeaker.
use of filters to change his appearance, have made him a celebrity among some kids, while others
You'd be proud to be white, and we're gonna dare you.
stop just to take in his shocking displays of cruelty.
Well, listen, I was planning on shooting up like a black skull.
Here, these young girls try to talk him out of the
Ooh. I can tell you, that right there is enough to get a knock at your door. That, you can't play that off as a joke in America. How is... The cops should be on their way, dog. You can't do that. Like, I know that is not a joke that you can make in America. You can't even joke. You cannot joke about that. No, that is not the kind... That is what's gonna get him busted. Like, they're probably drafting up a warrant, like, maybe the FBI, well, hard to say in this administration. Under normal circumstances, the FBI would be getting their warrant made right now. Like, that is an explicit crime. You are not allowed, because, like, it can't be assumed you're joking. It can't be assumed you're joking. Like, issues particularly like this are taken extremely seriously. Even if it's, like, obviously not a real gun, the statement alone, all I'm saying is there are a lot, and I mean a lot of people who have gone to prison for making edgy jokes in video game chats. Alright? Edgy jokes about schools in video game chats have gotten a lot of dudes in their 20s and late teens arrested and sent to federal prison for terroristic threats because they made an edgy joke. If that is enough to happen, this should be enough to get him in jail. There's no shot.
mass murder of innocent black children, while these young boys can barely contain their amusement over his overt racism.
More of this.
First reaction?
So sad.
Sickening.
Yeah, it's sickening. But I can't believe that guy's whole thing is engaging with kids like that. That's just so pathetic.
The kids love it.
I thought there's in your house.
Then there are the guns.
Get the Glock, get the Glock. They better not have access to a real Glock.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you shoot something?
No, I can't, but it's real.
It's not.
I'm gonna go kill for Charlie Kirk.
Will you take me with you?
And when he picks up that AR and he's putting it in the sky, again, there's another kind of...
I don't, if that's real, it's not an AR. It looks like, if anything, it would have to be some kind of shotgun.
Excitement,
Yeah.
enthusiasm of, oh my gosh.
I don't recognize it, though.
What I hear you saying is the gun is used as the hook to sell the hate.
Absolutely.
Is your dad in your life?
Here, Manadio tries to befriend a 12-year-old girl whose dad had died.
That's also so predatory.
Yes.
To ask, where's your dad? Like, he's looking for the vulnerable kids. They're going to be looking for the strong male influence. And here he comes in with his big, strong gun.
Absolutely.
And telling her.
Like, the right-wing movement has always had this inherent nature of predatory this predatory nature to it. Like, right-wing propaganda has always blatantly tried to pander to the younger demographics online. We really started to see it when right-wing creators started blatantly Zoomer editing their content, like really trying to appeal to the young people. But this is something beyond that. Like, I think there's just a gulf of difference between, like, making your right-wing propaganda content to appeal to a younger demographic with the editing and your topic selection, and outright hunting down kids on Omegle to get them to Sieg Heil and shit. Like, that is really, really fucked.
Her dating advice and all of that, like, that's just
Like instant to
sick.
grooming, right? Like he found his way in, and
We need more kids like you on this website because we got to be pushing this white power. This okay?
And once he's made the connection, the neo-Nazi tries to get the white kids to come to his websites and become followers.
Read that for me.
It's like he's interacting with these kids face to face, and then he's getting them in his chat, and they become part of his chat. He's doing the Nick Fuentes the Nick Fuentes way of doing things, where, like, one person at a time, he builds his cult. Because this is like a very dedicated kind of cult audience, right? So even if it's just one new member a day, you know, after 100 days, that's 100 new members that are not going anywhere. That'll be continuously active. And so that's how Nick Fuentes grew. Very slowly and steadily, but never wavering. You know, like, the people that Nick Fuentes brings into his audience are there. Like, I've never met an ex-graper. In that same way, I don't know if there'll ever be ex-fans of this guy. They're joining a cult that generally people don't at least identify with having left.
The headline.
Every single aspect of the media is Jewish.
I have one of those flyers on my desk at work. When the Going Defense League were in town last summer, they were distributing those pamphlets. That's what they were throwing on people's yards in the Jewish parts of town.
All of those are Jewish?
Yeah.
Fox? Fox is Jewish?
Yes.
Yes. Comcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Look how quickly these, like, this is what we mean when we say children are stupid and gullible. Guy shows laminated sheet of paper, and it's just not even a second of critical thinking, immediately believing it, because an adult is telling them. An adult is telling them, so it must be true.
Oh my god.
How does it feel to see kids embracing his lies?
No, it's terrible, because the guns, the racism, all those things are just props, so that once he gets them in, it's like, all right, now let's get to the good stuff, hating the Jews.
Look at me, boy. Listen, I got something for you, little Holocaust survivor. Come survive this.
And when Monadio encounters children who are not white,
Here's what it's going to come down to, okay? In all honesty, okay? You people are a bioweapon, okay?
the Goyim Defense League
Like, how many times can this guy get away with directly threatening the lives of children to their faces online? Like, do people just, like, his full name is known. He's been interviewed in public, like, at protests and stuff. Is this just a case of local police, like, actively protecting him?
leader can be unbelievably cruel,
I guess it has to be.
An ugly
mocking a biracial teen,
Oh, but you look like you're part Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Man, that sucks, bro.
calling him a Jewish science experiment, eventually using a mucky doll
Oh my God.
to act out the murder of a black baby. For Miriam Abulfazli, it was just too much to take.
Sorry.
It's evil.
You think about those that are being spewed hate on a platform like this, and even the biracial child was not willing to accept a part of him because he's like, I have this person in front of me that's telling me it's wrong. I have to believe it's
And he
wrong.
calls him sir.
I
And
know,
also
that's what I
the
caught. Yeah, he
respect
said
that
He
was given.
internalized that like that.
Like, it just
Like
was, yeah,
that.
he didn't even
He
flinch.
was so vulnerable. He was so vulnerable because it
And what I think a lot of parents don't realize is that when it comes to a lot of things, particularly politics, your kids do not want to hear or believe any of what you have to teach them. They want individuality, and they want to be unique, and the politics you try to push on them will be the politics that they adopt the opposite of. And so you can try to enforce the good ideas in your children, but if a guy like this comes along, they're going to be more apt to believe this, like, adult who looks like, oh, look, he's tough, he's got tattoos, he's, you know, on the internet making funny jokes and stuff, they're going to be more likely to believe the funny other adult that isn't their parent than someone else. That explains why Destiny's kid is a Nazi. Yeah, like, I don't want to, it's a little bit uncouth, but like, yeah, like Destiny's son's like Nazi posting on social media, and you'd be like, well, that's the last person I'd expect to do that, because his dad's done like 1 million debates debunking these nonsense talking points online. And then you realize, well, kids are very impressionable, and they tend to rebel, and so the fact that Destiny's, like, known for being the lefty debate guy makes it not that surprising that his son would be pretty far right. It's, you know, it's individuality, seeking individuality, wanting to be different, rebelling, that kind of thing.
It was somewhere else in him, it was somewhere else around him, and that man just...
And then, of course, you know, if you grow up in a very ignorant, racist household, it's less that the racism and bigotry is enforced on you. It's more that it's just the environment that you're around, you know? It kind of seeps in rather than being forced on you, more often than not. And so these guys that were already a little bit racist are just going to be pulled further into it. You know, like the kids that grew up in a racist household.
Dug that hole deeper and filled it with his hate.
For this group of parents, it was a troubling...
TBH, I think you're over-exaggerating. There's tons of people who have the same politics as their parents. Sure. Like, I don't think I'm over-exaggerating. I think I'm just contextualizing how a lot of... millennials are really progressive in general. So is Gen X. Like, they're some of the more progressive generations that have happened. And Gen Z demonstrates more volatility politically, and in some cases has been more likely to vote right than their parents' generations. And that right there tells you exactly the point that I'm making, that, like, whatever you want to attribute it to, Gen Z is very politically flexible and very, just ready to be influenced by people. You know what I mean?
Reminder of the Antioch High School shooter who had somehow come to hate his own skin.
That kid was taught to hate himself and to hate others and killed them.
Is it fair to call this child abuse?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God,
Absolutely.
Now listen, you guys got to start playing with guns, okay? Joysticks. Joysticks are for...
Adding to the horror, Menadio encourages the kids to get guns and prepare themselves to become killers.
All right, so you know what that means?
Hell yeah.
It's time to strap up and get ready for a complete race war. So here's what's coming, guys. Race war. White power, lead, okay? White power.
Now, I'm just going to tell you guys something that's going to make you guys all laugh, okay? When this guy gets arrested and charged and then convicted for felony terroristic threats, the ATF is going to come. And they're going to do something called a full search and seizure of his properties, which means they're going to turn over every single fucking part of his house until they find every last gun, bullet, and casing on his properties. And then they're going to take all of it, and they are going to destroy it. The ATF does not store away the guns in some vault somewhere. They don't give them to the military or the police. They destroy them. Utterly and completely destroy them. And that is what's going to happen to this guy. Because the amount of terroristic threats he's made against schools and directly to the faces of children for being black or brown, this dude's going to get hit with felony charges of terroristic threats, like guaranteed. Not to mention, if he's actually armed, that means he has the means to carry out the things that would be alleged threats, which is a massive factor in giving federal charges a basically guaranteed conviction chance. So, yeah, bro would be fucked. Bro's losing all of his guns.
Lock and load, okay? You need to be at the shooting range. Get ready to kill.
For Sarah Shoup Newman, it brought back memories of the deadly day at Nashville's Covenant School when a shooter roamed the halls of her child's school.
It's just utter depravity. I think about the evil that walked through the halls those days, and you can't comprehend it. You can't try to figure out why, and he's breeding it.
Lock and load! Lock and load on the toad! There you go.
And Menadio cheered on this teen, pretending he was shooting black people. Then the neo-Nazi mocked the tears of a grieving black parent.
A mother crying.
He's gonna need the Aryan Brotherhood to protect him in prison, because all this stuff he's been doing with kids is going to be on the internet. And if you don't know, when this guy goes to prison, which he will, within a year, this guy's going to be in prison. When he goes to prison, what's going to happen is people are going to find out his name, and they're going to pull his papers, or what they call it in the prison system. They're going to go on the phone, and they're going to call up a friend or a family member. And they're going to ask them to go on the computer and look up the new guy. And what's going to come up is that this new guy went to prison after he was caught in a long screed of hunting down children and grooming them on social media. Grooming them into becoming Nazis. Now, the Aryan Brotherhood might appreciate it, but mostly everybody else, and particularly if you know the racial demographics of most prisons in America, the Aryan Brotherhood are not going to be able to do much to protect this guy. If the results that come up are a bunch of stuff having to do with, like, fucking around with kids, he's gonna have to be kept in some kind of, like, protected confinement. Because, it doesn't have to be, like, sex-related charges or, like, child molestation-related charges. They'll Google his name, and if this stuff comes up, he's gonna be in trouble.
Because their child has been taken. That's a pain that man will never understand.
Amber Posey lost her own daughter, Ashanti, 5 years ago to gun violence.
Hearing him attempt and mimic or mock crying set me back to April the 9th of 2020 when I let out my own screams. When my child, when I had to tell her friends, her AAU coach, her siblings, call her grandmother, her great-grandfather, and say that their grandchild had been murdered, the first murdered victim in our family. And you make a mockery of that for clickbait, that's not okay. That's not okay.
I can't escape the financial factor. I can't.
And the people were giving it when like the worst parts came up.
That's why he does it. It's so clear to me.
To see, like, these normal people who work, like, everyday jobs see this guy make, from what we saw in these clips, I would estimate anywhere between $200 to $400 a day doing this shit. It's like, this guy's making, like, there's a good chance this guy's making six-figure income doing this shit. With a small little crowd of, like, a few hundred Nazis, this guy's possibly making a six-figure income off of, like, a few thousand little Nazi whales. You know? And I think when normal people see that, it's like, oh my god. Like, the internet, there is an army of Nazis making an income that is not just providing for them, but is giving them a comfortable, borderline luxurious life off of doing some of the most degenerate, immoral acts imaginable. And the internet is facilitating making... The internet has made being the worst person you can possibly be, like a competition of being the worst person you can possibly be, a profitable endeavor. And children are absolutely not off the table. Hurting children, radicalizing children, seemingly grooming them is not off the table for them.
Go feed a right? Stop giving them money. Feed them bullets.
In these videos, these people see a man willing to take advantage of innocent young children for the payouts from his sick followers who thrive on that hate.
Oh, sorry, $1,000.
That's not speech.
That's not
This is
Damn, these Nazis are beating you guys. Y'all gotta... I'm not seeing enough movement, as Ninja once said.
Those are
This
threats.
is exploitation of
Those are
minors.
actual threats.
Yes.
Let's go kill him, bro. Let's go kill him.
Hunting season. Woo! All right, brother, you're getting it. How old are you?
John Manadio responded to my questions in a chat on X, insisting that he is not the problem. He said no one under the age of 18 is supposed to be on these video chat apps, saying, and these are his words, you should blame their parents. Obviously, that's no excuse for his own conduct. He also said he offers a disclaimer on his podcast that he does this, quote, for entertainment purposes only, and that he disavows any violence. Of course,
It reminds me of how, like, drama creators and commentary creators have that, like, copy-paste disclaimer that's always word for word the same, going back a decade now in every video, that says, do not harass any of the individuals involved in the video. Now, most channels talking about, like, anybody don't usually have to include a subtitle like that, but when you start a video that has that warning, do not harass the... You know it's because you're dealing with the kind of person whose entire thing is encouraging people to harass and attack other individuals, and it happens so frequently that to have plausible deniability, they had to create a disclaimer. And that disclaimer has been the same one copy-pasted across, like, hundreds of channels for like, God, since 2016. It's been the exact same copy-paste, do not harass any individuals in this video disclaimer. So yeah, that tells me a lot.
That's not something he tells any of the children, Pat.
And Phil, I feel like many parents are watching this and asking, what app is he using?
Yeah, that's probably the most important takeaway we can bring tonight. The main one is something called OME TV, although there are others. One is called Monkey. I checked them out, and there are a lot of kids there. Parents really need to check their children's electronics tonight. From what I saw, this is not any place that any child should ever be.
And despite everything we just saw, you found that it appears he's still not doing anything illegal?
Not that we can tell at all.
How? How is making threats directly towards children and threatening to shoot up schools not a crime? What? He's done multiple things that are crimes. Like, okay, maybe I'm insane, but like, I'm thinking right now about Josh Palalt, the RuneScape felon, the guy who was in a RuneScape chat and said in RuneScape chat, I believe he said something, I don't even want to quote him, but it was like very obviously a joke, and it had to do with the school, in reference to a school that had recently had a shooting. And he served like, I think a year or two in federal prison for making terroristic threats, all because of stuff he said in a RuneScape chat. In the chat, in the game, he got prison time for terroristic threats and became a felon. Like, the idea that this guy, there is definitely parties protecting him then. Like, this guy is being protected then. Because there have been 20-year-olds who have gone to prison for making jokes on video games that were far tamer than anything this guy said to the faces of children on camera, on video, and does regularly. It's taken very seriously in Canada, too. Is that where he is? He's Canadian? Yeah, how is Canada not taking that shit seriously? I don't think he could be Canadian. He had a lot of guns. There's no guns in Canada. Canada has 0 guns, in fact. Anytime you bring a gun over the border into Canada, it evaporates in your hands. It's like, I don't know, like hair in a laser. Just evaporates, just turns to dust. Springfield, Missouri? Yeah, I thought it was America. Anyway, with all of that said, if you ended up enjoying this segment, then please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It helps to boost the channel, and maybe one day, my channel will be more successful than the likes of Nazi weirdos like that if you support it with your direct engagement. Don't forget to hype the video to boost it in the algorithm as well, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. With that said though, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.